Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Brayden Drevlow. I'm a pianist and adventure traveler. Here I'm in Dubai today, but keep following for the channel. You'll see a whole bunch of videos, all kinds of crazy adventures. My friend Shubham, he's the extreme traveler. I'm the adventure traveler. I like to do all kinds of crazy things, like drive tanks, shoot guns, the fun stuff. So stay tuned for the channel. You'll see lots of cool stuff coming up. All right, we're gonna head upstairs. We'll have a little interview, talk a little bit more about myself and what kind of things you'll see on the channel. Hey guys, my name is Brayden. I'm from the United States. I'm from Minnesota, which is right next to Canada. I'm a full-time pianist and traveler. So on this channel, I guess you'll be seeing my days in the life of what it's like to be a traveler. I've been to about like 70 countries now. I've lost count. For my piano stuff, I do lots of solo piano concerts, and I like playing for unique people in unique places. So like, whatever kind of fills that parameter is what I love doing. So I've done everything from like playing for Trump, for royalty, for Irish piano bars and train stations in Belarus, everything. As for traveling, like I said, like 70 countries. I think, so I've been to every state in the US, almost every national park. Every state except Alaska, I should say. And I've been to South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Oceania. So I first started traveling, I never left the country until about 3 years ago, which is really surprising. I'm 24 now. So as a kid, my family would go on lots of road trips all around the United States. So like I said, I'm from Minnesota, which like the US, the center at the top. And every year my family would take like 1 month on a road trip, and we drive to some part of the United States, going to a whole bunch of national parks and everything. And that kind of like gave me it instilled this joy for traveling. And then I think I took my first flight when I was like 13 or 14, and I just loved it. I got to college, and once I got to college, then I was studying piano in college, but I'd be finding any opportunity I could to travel. So then, like I said, about 3 years ago, I went on my first trip by myself. I've always been by myself from the beginning. I think it's the best way to travel, in my opinion. And the first place I went was Switzerland. And for the first like year, I think I probably stayed in like Western Europe. And then the next year after that, then I started branching out to places like Asia and South America. But now I've found my favorite part of traveling. My favorite kind of traveling is in the most raw kind of places. Raw in a respectful sense, but like I like going places where things aren't so planned and it's very spontaneous. Because like you can go to a place like London or New York City and you kind of know what to expect. But I like going to places like the Middle East where your day just completely goes whichever way. Some of like my favorite memories from traveling kind of happened for the good or the bad. So I think in just the past year and a half, I've had like 2 really bad like accidents, like one near-death experience in Puerto Rico. That's a whole nother video, but that was a really bad time. Cut up my head and everything, falling 40 feet off a cliff into the ocean. In Vietnam, a motorcycle accident. I think like my favorite experiences though, it's the things that you can never plan to do, and that's why I travel. I travel because you're always on the edge of comfort. It's kind of like, for me, it's like skydiving or something. I do a lot of skydiving too, but it's the feeling of like where you're holding onto the edge of the plane and you're always so scared, but once you jump off and you start falling, then everything is all okay, and you can go this way, you can go that way, but everything is all good. So whether it's like camping on an island out in the Indian Ocean or like driving my own car through the Serengeti. So my family back in the US is like, it's really big. I'm the third of 11 kids in my family, so family's always been really important to me, and that's why I've always kind of like stayed close to home. So I finished college last May, and of course being in college, and I kind of have to be there most of the time. So a lot of my travels over the past like 2 years has been like be home and stay in college or whatever for like 1 month, and then travel for like 1 or 2 months, and then come back and forth and that kind of stuff. But now I'm changing. I'm going for the full-on plunge. That not only is it really expensive to always like keep going back and forth, but it was always depressing is the wrong word, but like I'd always get home and I'd always be craving more. So I remember like my first trip when I got back home, I went for like maybe like 1 month or something. I came back home and I could last like 2 or 3 weeks before I start itching again for the next trip. and then I come, and then I go on the next trip, and it went from like 2 weeks to like 1 week to like a few days, and now like I can be traveling for like 2 months. I come back home, and after like 2 or 3 days, I'm just going crazy because I already need to be back out there. So that's why I'm changing everything now. I'm going full time now. So as of like December of this year, December 2020, in the middle of an international pandemic, it really proves something about how important these kinds of things are to, especially like the full-time travelers. So now I've quit everything back at home, cut all the ties, sold my apartment, got rid of my car, everything, and just traveling full time, which sounds really scary, but I've been doing it for the past years, and I know it's what I love doing. Like I said before, it's like what I love most about traveling is like being on the edge of that comfort zone, that you're always making the most of every single day, and that's what I enjoy most about it. Honestly, like over the past years, like the past 3 years of all these travels, like I said, like 70 countries, a lot of the time I wasn't doing it behind the phone. I wasn't doing it behind the camera. I was traveling because I love doing it, and I think that's the most important first thing. So I started traveling because I love doing it, but now I've decided to kind of open up the world a bit and show other people what it's like, because I think a lot of people don't. It's hard to imagine what that kind of life is like, and most importantly too, I want to make these videos as like timestamps, as things to share and show my family and everything, show my family that I'm okay. But things to look back on in like 5 or 10 years, because you see the smile of another person, and it's things that you can't save in a journal. It's those kinds of memories. So I started like I started making footage, like started recording things in the past 1 or 2 months. But I also still have some old footage from in the past, like random little clips, so I'll try to include those when I can. But I started recording, like I said, like middle of December, so that was about 3 weeks before I made that full-on plunge then of the traveling. So in the next upcoming few videos, in the next few weeks, you'll see some of the videos of like what goes through somebody's mind as they're dropping everything and leaving. Some of the stuff like I said, I'm as a pianist, that I made some videos of like what it's like to be a concert pianist, playing with symphonies and that kind of stuff, so a day in the life of that. But then starting at the new year, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff for the new year and Christmas in Ukraine, driving tanks, shooting some Soviet guns. Right now I'm in Dubai, so you'll see some footage from that, and over the next few weeks, some really crazy places. I don't want to give them away yet, but it'll be some really cool content, so keep your eyes out for it. So thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you stick along, kind of see how things go. The next few weeks will be really crazy, a lot of really fun adventures planned. So go ahead and tell your friends, tell people in Nomad Shubham's army, tell them to come watch, because I'm trying to build up all of this from scratch. So I appreciate all you guys. Enjoy the videos. See y'all soon.